Yep. Oh man, really hitting our units as well. Right now we are going to split the army. These Black Knights are really doing some heavy damage to us here. Hey everyone, in this video we are playing a challenge campaign. The rules for this campaign are that we can only recruit tier 1 units from the Empire, as well as flagellants, Free Company Militia, and Empire Knights. The heroes we can recruit are warrior priests and witch hunters, and our lords are only arch lictors. Let me know what you think of this challenge in the comments below, and hopefully this challenge teaches you something about how to play Total War on Legendary difficulty. Now, let's begin. Hey everyone, welcome back to our part 10 of our Volkmar the Grim Legendary Challenge campaign. Last time we had just taken the province of Bhagar and had some battles here and there. This time I'm going to quickly pull up the map like we had talked about and people had requested. Give a little state of the union here. We have a couple provinces to our east. We have all these vampire territories to our west here. We've got some allies to our southeast. Well, not allies, but people that are moderately friendly with us. Our southwest, our northwest, but our north area is looking kind of scary with corn there. Also haven't even clicked on this faction. Yeah, so another Bretonia faction, it should be okay. Yeah, but these guys look evil. Do you see his eyes there? So we're gonna go ahead and get started here. There's a few level ups we can do. I'm gonna go ahead and quickly run through those, see if there's any equipment that might need adjusting, but otherwise get ready to fight this battle here, which in truth, I don't even know if we need the full army. I'm gonna make this campaign exciting and test using a few less troops than typical. Yeah, we'll see. You know, there could be a good strategy to kind of split the army up, either this turn or next turn, and start just taking as many provinces as we can while the vampires are kind of on the back foot. So yeah, let me go ahead and do those level ups and things, and I will catch you guys in a second. Okay, as you all saw, we did some renaming there of our lords and heroes. I just wanted to say a special thank you to everyone who's commenting this whole time and kept up with the series. It means a lot to me, so thank you. I also think this battle is going to be super easy, so let's just auto-resolve it. The casualties are low. Get some of that replenishment back. Yeah, so our new heroes, we have Jared Solman and we have Taldarek. If you guys would like me to change it to some other name, feel free to comment below. The people that I've named these after, these are people that have commented the most on our videos, so thank you so much. We do have an extra hero who is currently unnamed. I love to do it for heroes that are actually immortal as opposed to ones that are not quite. So let's hold out here that Taldarek, your hero or your lord, lasts for a little bit longer. I think he will. And let's go ahead and do some more quick level ups here. Nothing too major. Just get some more of those troop buffs. And we still have tons of replenishment, so nothing to be worried about by leaving this capital here. We also have Khemri over here that has some lower control. So I'm going to go ahead and stop collecting income. I think with one turn or maybe, you know, a little bit longer, it should kind of right itself. But now we have that major decision of, do we split up the army to take more territory, or do we kind of stay together? I would argue to split the army, and I think what I would prefer is to give the majority of these units to one of these lords and keep just a few for Volkmar. So I'm going to move these guys over this way just to get their full movement out of this, or even get into encamp stance. That would allow for even more replenishment. Yeah, I'll do that for anybody who we can do that to. So let's go over here. And yeah, so these guys don't really need it. I would be shocked if they sent an army out if they do. I mean, I guess you can't be too careful in Legendary. So let me go ahead and bring Volkmar over this way, just because we haven't split those these units into their armies. That could cause major issues if they get caught out there. I don't think we have any more hero slots, so, and I don't think our diplomacy is really calling for anything. Yeah, of course, Manfred would love to cash out now. Too late, buddy. We are after you. So I'm gonna go ahead. We do have some quests. I mean, these could be fun to end the turn with. I don't know if you need a certain amount of movement. Yeah, you really don't. This could be good to do, just to, you know, like I said before, get those quests. Patrick and Felix. Yeah, let me know in the comments if you guys would like us to recruit these heroes. I know that they would be kind of off our challenge rules, but it could add some flavor and be, you know, be fun. These are some pretty historic characters in the Warhammer fantasy. So also have, yeah, construct walls. I don't know if we're ever going to do that. Maybe missile infantry. Yeah, witch hunter. We'll eventually we'll get a witch hunter too. I'm so tempted. What's our health at? Let's like one turn and then we can go ahead and do that other quest there. So over the end turn, Manfred tried to give us peace. He's going to pay us 5,000 for it, and not enough. We want all of our territory back. I also, if you notice, have added a new mod called the Legendary Lore mod. I may try to incorporate this more into the videos in the future. And part of me thought I would read them at first, but if I look at these paragraphs or this text, it's really quite large. And so I think what I might end up doing just for this video, and I'll do it even now, is just kind of pause over them, give you guys a second to, you know, pause your video if you'd like, and kind of read the content there. If I can actually scroll, there we go. I also have the Empire of Man. So this is probably for the beginning of our campaign. You know, it's probably catching up on all these ones that we didn't quite get. So I'll pause here. Yeah, if you guys know more about the lore, I'd love to kind of dive more into it. Right now, we are going to split the army. And let's see. Yeah, let's give it to Tal'Darak. So what we want to do is, I think we just want to keep, let's give him all of these units. We can continue. Give him all of these. Yeah, so we just like to have, and actually let's give him one more warrior priest. Let's give him, we'll keep Ulrich with Volkmar. He'll give, actually, let's do the opposite. We'll give him Ulrich. Yeah, we have this really, really tiny army. I think small but mighty. I think also just make the campaign more exciting if I, you know, I'm fighting with less troops rather than more. I think these battles would get pretty old for you guys. I'm going to go ahead and move Tal'Darak this way. Actually, maybe if I can stay in our land and just kind of go down so we can continue to not get that vampiric corruption. Let's go this way. Similarly, let's have this other Lord Jared follow. These two just needing to stay together for support. And Volkmar himself can enter in camp stance and go as far as he can. Yeah, no armies here at Sudenberg, and the army that exists there would be no problem for him to take. We go to buildings here. We could upgrade this to another tier. I know he had talked about getting the Knights of the Blazing Sun. So yeah, that is definitely a thought. Or we just wait a little bit longer and put it in Kasabar. So I think I'd rather have the growth there because this is going to cost us 4. Oh wow, I didn't even realize this was a thing. So this is extremely strong for at least our playthrough. Yeah, maybe in the future we'll give Volkmar a few more flagellants. Is that true of every territory? Let me find another capital. Yes. Okay. And whoa. Divine Mandate. Wow. Okay. Great. So I had no idea. I wonder if there's other buildings. If there are, let me know. I'd be super curious. And this is for the Springs of Eternal Life. Yeah, let's go ahead and grab this. I don't see... I think we need more warrior priests, right? Our money's not great, but we're going to be able to kind of make up for that soon. Yeah, I mean, definitely we could... Yeah, you know what? Why not? We've got the money, we have the time to build. So let's go ahead and do that and end turn. I'll catch you guys in a minute. And let's go ahead and pick our new technology here. I think we had talked about doing the Halls of Duels. This would take us quite a while to get there. It is more experience for all of our spellcasters, which are warrior monks considered in there? I would think so. Yeah, the spell resistance wouldn't be bad either. We could also get more income from all these different things here. We do have quite a few of those buildings. This would not be a bad choice. I think I'm going to go with the very simple choice, though, of getting more casualty replenishment and growth. Just really strong abilities. You know, as we stack more and more of it, our armies can fight essentially indefinitely. Let's go ahead and take Volkmar out of encampment stance here. We can attack this. I also want to bring some of our lords over this way. Let's see. Yeah, if we get Antok, we get the full province. So, and what is the vampire corruption? Is 0. So I'm fine for our armies to kind of navigate over this way. Let's go. I'm trying to keep it above 50% just so we can quickly see. Yeah, looks like our neighbors to the southwest are also joining us in this war. And there's nobody here. So unfortunately, I don't have the movement, but we can get close enough. And so what I'll do is go into, oops, can I get a little bit closer? No. Okay, well, you know, that's fine. I'm gonna go ahead and get right about here. That way on our next turn, we can attack no problem. We can also recruit 2 more flagellants. You know, why not? Kind of buff up this army if we can. Also, we can recruit, oh yeah, no, that's our cap. Fortunately, we can't get any regiments of renown, but Volkmar is able to attack this building. Watch me just fail tremendously. Yeah, let's go ahead and take our heroes off of their horses so they can climb up those walls. I'm going to spend just a second looking at our items to see if we can't just make sure that they are totally safe in doing this. All right, yeah, let's go ahead and attack these walls. Walls. Settlement. What am I thinking? Yeah, so decisive defeat, but because we have the siege attacker, we can just go ahead and get right into it. All right, so here we are. We're gonna go ahead and climb these walls with our 2 heroes. I'm gonna speed things up just because they don't really... Oh, shot by a giant bomb. Yeah, they don't really need any... What am I gonna say here? They're fine. That's what I mean. So I'm gonna have them pull out their ladders from their pockets like always, climb these walls, and our goal is to capture the gatehouse. That way we can let in our other units and really kind of do the damage we need to. So let's go ahead and as soon as we can get Volkmar down there. The warrior priest, he can follow shortly thereafter. The thing is that Volkmar has regeneration, and so, you know, he should be, it'll be much easier for him to get to that area, not, you know, get hurt too badly. Yeah, let's bring the other lord down, so and start buffing each other. Now, and this is just what I hope is going to happen, is we don't get absolutely decimated by their troops in here. I'm not 100% sure. I kind of like to take risks in my game. I think it just adds so much more to it, both in like a story and from a fun aspect. I don't really mind losing a lord in a game, especially a game I'm invested in, just because that means it'll be that much more interesting for people to watch and for me to play. you know, how do we come back from a tough situation? So let's go ahead and we can zoom in here. Yes, I have finally figured out how to use the cinematic camera as well as the zoom here. So look at me, getting better every day. Let's go zoom up. So they do have quite a bit of units. They aren't, I would love if we could actually get a little bit more over to our left here. That way the Grand Soulfire isn't wasted on half of the wall here. But, you know, we'll take what we can get. And the other thing here is these two buffs, because it's Grand Hammer and Grand Shield of Faith, mixed with the Hammer and, where's the other one here? Shield of Faith. They do stack because they are not considered the same effect. So I guess the one thing though is they have to at least be close enough to each other. Yeah, if we can start to really take out these units, I'd love if we could actually just get a little bit closer over there. It seems like, come on guys, move that way. Yeah, a lot of these enemies do have quite a bit of mass, so it's hard to walk through. At least, you know, when you're comparing a single entity versus these other units here. Yeah, they are crumbling. At least we have that going for us. Another Grand Soulfire here. I also thought it'd be cool. I don't know if there's any lore for this, but if like a warrior priest could explode with like holy energy or something like that if they died in battle, I think that would really elevate the priests in the game. Is that lore accurate? You guys tell me. It at least would make our game more fun because we could, you know, kind of, there'd be more value in getting these low level priests all throughout the campaign. So Grand Soulfire is going. They're doing great over here. Inching our way over. Yeah, Volkmar is at least on the capture point now. Let's keep going. They've done good damage. I guess I can hover over and show you. So 5,000 from a regular priest and 14 from Volkmar. And then that ward save. It's so funny how the units just really go wherever they want to. I have no control. Our units are over here safe and sound. Yeah, if this is kind of like a boring fight for you guys as well, just let me know in the comments and I can kind of cruise through these ones either by speeding up the video or just skipping it entirely and just, you know, showing you guys the end result there. I do think there's some value in learning how to do this for your own campaigns. You know, being able to split your armies and, you know, those heroes that you spent all this time leveling up, being able to take them to other fights and such, and understanding the boundaries in which you can use a hero. Yeah, let me know. Otherwise, super cool map. Yeah, I love everything about this. I also have that one mod for, at least I think it does skyboxes. So thank you to our modding community for making the Total War experience just so much better. Yeah, our warrior priest is, you know, he's getting low. I think if we really had to, we could pull him out. Wouldn't be a big deal. And soon here, we should get this. So I'm going to start moving our units, at least our flagellants. Our knights can, let's have them toggle walk. Yeah, let's see what their damage is. So we got 20,000 now on Volkmar. We have, so let's come back actually. Yeah, 9,000. They are doing well. There we go. We have captured the gate. Let's go and bring them in. You know, something else you can do as well is actually like bring your army over this way, right? Force the enemy to fight you there, and then capture these other points, like this victory location, and I believe the other one is right here. Yep. And so what you can do is in these battles, you collect what are called victory tickets, which is kind of a funny name for a war game. But you get your tickets, and you, if you get to this red bar all the way to the right, you automatically win the fight. And so if you are outnumbered but still attacking, or have the ability to capture those victory points without having to kill every single unit in the base, you can do that. Of course, allowing you to capture the settlement early. You know, and what that will do is just wipe out any troop that is in the fight. So, and now our Empire Knights are here to hopefully help our warrior priest, who is in fact getting quite low. We bring him closer to Volkmar. You know, usually if you have just a few, you know, characters, bringing them next to each other at least provides some level of cover. And so we could actually just have him stand here for a second, kind of recoup. And luckily for us, Grand Soulfire does not affect allied troops. So these knights now have incredibly high melee attack. If paired with their charge bonus as well, because they did kind of run in here, they're probably doing all right. Let's get more of this damage resistance going for everyone that can. At 9 seconds and 7 seconds. Just want to make sure that this priest is as protected as possible. And here come our flagellants. Hopefully to save the day. Volkmar still at full health. He probably has not even hit his regeneration cap. Let's see. Now you can hover over and kind of tell. That's alright. Alright. 3 seconds here on his melee buff. And Volkmar has his Soulfire again. These Black Knights are really doing some heavy damage to us here. We turn the Knights around just by clicking on them. In theory, they can lose that attack in the rear debuff they have. Also gonna just kind of, I want to bring this warrior priest up on the wall. I think he's just gotten too low for me to feel comfortable. He can still like stand like right here and use his Grand Soulfire to affect the enemies below. Let's see about that. Hit a few of them at least. And yeah, let's get these buffs rolling. Yeah, our units have essentially done the work of an entire army here. Let's go ahead and keep casting this. Our flagellants getting some pretty good damage in. See, Empire Knights also, yeah, everybody's doing really well. Volkmar especially. Yeah, let's pull out these knights from the spearmen there. We can kind of chase down this grave guard. Have him join up with Volkmar. Yeah, their Black Knights have crumbled. What do we have going on here? I saw a few troops coming up. The Tattered Souls are on the wall, I guess. Let's see, did they get that buff from Volkmar there? No, not quite. Yeah, I should make sure to not have things spread out too far. In any case, should be fine. Have a few seconds on his other abilities here. Guess we could save these two at least. We don't really need them quite now. Yeah, let's lower their melee attack. We could bring these knights back a little bit. All right, see if we can get that charge bonus again. Who's this here? Just a unit of spearmen. Yeah, we could just kind of bring them out, have them recover some of their energy. I think we've talked in previous episodes about how units do get tired from fighting, so you want to try to keep that up as much as possible. Let's bring Volkmar back so we can fight with the flagellants as opposed to without them. On the run, or on the walk. Here we go. Yeah, making sure we hold this gate as well. Giving that buff there. Right now we can really buff up the flagellants with both of our heroes as opposed to just one. Knights are still very tired, but over time they'll recover here. We could also do something simple and just kind of charge in and do a little bit of damage, charge back out. So why not? Give those buffs. Oh, misclick there. Yeah, so there, and then the knights charging in. Give me even more melee attack for a second. And let's pull them over this way. Just because there's a unit of spearmen coming in from behind. This will hit some Graveguard. You can see the knights are actually recovering some of their vitality. I think that is what the game calls it. So let's make the flagellants face forward as opposed to being attacked from, you know, kind of every side there. They do have some troops left. Volkmar is doing just fine, so let's have him be the one to charge in. They are very tired. I do think there are some abilities to, you know, let's just charge in with these knights. Just kind of finish them off. Yeah, there are some abilities to get that extra vitality on troops, or it's vigor. Yeah, so you can do that, and I think that would be super useful, especially for like a small strike force like this. Yeah, we'll get it eventually. So I'm gonna go ahead and do double speed here. I don't see any reason to not do that. I think this should hit the other units on our team. And while these guys are critically bound, we're gonna go ahead and just charge them just to kind of eliminate them from the fight. And Volkmar here can do all of his different effects. We can bring the knights back out. Yep, some of this. The flagellants are getting low. Everybody just recover here for a second. Nothing to be worried about, but also it looks like our enemies are crumbling. So there we go. Victory with just a few units. We are back, and I wanted to show you the damage numbers really quickly so you can see on all of the units here. You know, we're still far from completing these Volkmar and his warrior priest. With some better items, they could do a heck of a lot more. I'm gonna go ahead and occupy this settlement and do these level ups really quickly. Some campaign movement there for Volkmar. Starting to kind of even out the generals here. Doesn't hurt to get 2 spearmen. You know, start building up that second army just slowly but surely. And looks like we're doing okay here. It does look like he's actually in the enemy territory, so I'm gonna move him. Yeah. So let's see what else we can do here. Yeah, I'm gonna get our orchards back just because it has some control as well as money per turn. Oh my gosh, I have forgotten about this. So eventually we'll start getting the books of Nagash. I'm gonna go ahead and end the turn, see if anything exciting happens, and if we can't take another territory this episode. All right, and we have recruited 30 units, so we get this battle standard, which is, that's all right. And we do have an army coming for Volkmar. I don't mind if they actually attack this settlement. I'm going to try to let the recovery happen. If we had a witch priest, we could at least block them from walking this way. It's fine. So let's go over to this settlement here. I believe because it's a minor settlement and it doesn't have walls, we should be able to attack it just fine. Watch me eat my words in a second here. So let's bring down our one general and follow up. So low and decisive. Let's go ahead and do that. We'll, of course, occupy. So we have gotten another province for ourselves. So of course, get rid of that building. But as you all know, we can finally get more warrior priests here. I actually might even be able to, if I click on this army, or sorry, this building. Yeah, we can get our next warrior priest. So this is strong just from an economic perspective. I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. Can we get any other? No. He has been leveled up to level 13. So a lot of skills go through. I will go ahead and do that off camera, unless you guys would really like me to show more of the level ups and in that process. I think by now you guys know my overall gist. A few things to take on here. Yeah, he is raiding, so it's not great for our province. You know, we could do. Here's what I'll do. Because it's been a few days since our last episode, I'm going to attack him. I'm going to attack him. Could it be a huge mistake? Yes. But could it also be really fun and good? Also true. So enchanted item. Let's see what's this rain unending volley. Let's see what this does. Yeah. I wonder if we can. I'm going to combine these. Scroll of leeching. Yeah. Unfortunately not useful to us. That said, what do we have here? He has Rune Fang. Yeah, I'm a little bit nervous about this lord, but if we look at their army, it's all swordsmen and zombies. So we are going to go back to our war altar, our war horse. So they'll at least be a little bit more durable. Go ahead and let's take them out. It actually says we would win, which is super funny just on its own. I'm going to go ahead and fight this though. I think we can do much better than that. All right, so we've begun. Our goal really is to get these units into the fight as soon as possible, right? Have all the enemies surround them. And with our knights here, they have crypt horrors. So I want the knights to actually get close to the crypt horrors. Essentially distract them from our lords and other units, just because they're the only armor piercing unit in this fight. So here we go with the knights coming around the back there. Our lords way ahead of the pack to make sure they don't get too far, but we don't want the entire army to chase the knights. We really would like to fight as much of it as possible. Let's see Volkmar's stats here. Yeah, lower melee defense. See if we can't just take out their lord right at the get-go here. Bring these units right up behind. Where are these? Oh, yeah, unfortunately, we have the crypt horrors fighting our generals. So let's see, we can maybe just get the knights to attack some of these other units here. You know, block off other units. Or even just kill the general. So let's do that. So we do have a bound spell. Let's wait another second for it to, you know, really get a nice blob of enemies we can attack. Yeah, the knights are doing all right here Yeah, this is a good spot. So our flagellants are here. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, the knights have almost taken out their general. Pray to the... Yep. Oh man, really hitting our units as well. Well, not what I expected, but at least we know the spell works. The enemy general is escaping. What we really need is these spearmen to come join our generals. That way they don't take too much of the brunt of the force here against these crypt horrors. You know, what can you do? Yes, our general is at least attacking him. Yeah, Volkmar, great job taking out most of our units. Let's see here. Yeah, we're doing okay. This general looks like he is pretty close to being out of this fight. These spearmen are actually doing all right in their own as well. Now that these units are running away, yeah, let's definitely bring them around. It's a good thing at least that the crypt horrors are fighting Volkmar, just because, you know, he is a big target on this war wagon, but he's at least has regeneration, unlike our other priest here. Kind of zoom in here and see. There's a corpse cart as well. Let's go ahead and buff our units. Our spearmen are here. Yeah, we might lose this regiment of renown. Yeah, so a little bit of a misplay by me, but I think we're gonna end up being totally fine. These knights are doing extremely well. Have lost one model and are fighting off really this whole group here. Let's bring in the general. All right, and Volkmar can now cast another spell. Let's cast it farther away from our units this time. How about that? Learn our lesson here. One unit left there. Yeah, so that unit is wiped out. We can recruit them again in the future, so not the end of the world. And the crypt horrors are also have weak binding, so we're doing all right here. I'm shocked that these spearmen have not, you know, fled the fight. I guess in that instance, right, it wouldn't be bad to have some of them or level up some of those abilities for leadership, just because I don't really know if we have a lot of anti-large options aside from them. Another soulfire. Yeah, do the crypt horrors, they don't have a lot of armor, so that ability should also affect them pretty intensely. I'm gonna go ahead and get the army replenishment here. Their lord is running away. So I want to see the... Oh, nice, got missile resistance. I want to see the downtime on recruiting that regiment of renown. 10 turns. Yeah, so that's a little bit unfortunate for us. That said, we are very close to being able to take another province, and we can get 2 more spearmen, so, or at least see 1 more there. That was interesting as well. When I do 2, we lose our replenishment. So leave it at 1. I'm gonna go ahead and do the level ups off camera. Seems like we are taking the fight back to the vampires here, and our troops over here are also doing well. I think nothing to, yeah, aside from level ups, nothing to do. So thanks so much for watching, guys, and as always, I really appreciate it. Let me know what you think of the videos in the comments below, but until next time, I will see you later.